We are on our way to go hiking.
Huh?
Don't you need to like cough or something? Or sneeze? Blow your nose? You tried to hold it in, didn't you? I still love him, even if he coughs every time I do a video. See my cool hat?
Workout summary. Total time, 2 hours, 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Total distance, 3.62 miles.
Okay, breakfast is served. Okay, I'm going to try to make a recipe from Color Me Vegan. I'm going to put a link for this down below in the description. The curried cauliflower soup, I'll let you know how that turns out. And then I'm also going to make a soup that is in my head and I don't know if it's going to work or not, and I'll show you how I'm making that one as I go. Oh, and I'm going to roast some mushrooms too. As I'm cooking, I'm reminded of a tip that I think is one of the most important tips in the kitchen. Okay, there's 2 tips. The first tip is that you need really good knives. If you don't have good knives, cooking isn't as fun. When you have good knives, you'll know the difference. Right now, maybe you don't know the difference, but once you invest in some knives, you'll go, oh, I see. Always important to have some good knives. I have a page on my website called Stuff I Love. If you check out that page, I tell you which knives I like the most. I'll just show them to you here now. So I have a knife block that I love, by the way. I went through a lot of researching time on Amazon to find this knife block. I love it because it's got space. It's got these like plastic, I don't know how to describe it, but like little plastic things in there. You can just stick the knife in there and I'll put a link for this knife block down below. It's really sturdy and it's so easy to just put the knives in there and not have to worry about them falling or anything like that. So all I really have is two small knives. I have a really nice, I like the brand Wusthof. Okay, Wusthof, that's a brand I like. But so I have this big Santoku style. I also have a Santoku style ceramic knife. I use this for, this is the Cauliflower brand. I use this for things like red pepper skins or tomato skins. It's really easy to get through that with these. And then it's just a really light knife. I like that too. So I use these two. I have another knife as well. This one. This is my other fave. So this is a Wusthof as well. This is a chef's 6-inch knife. So I use this one as well. And the other 2 knives I have that I use are a ceramic, like, kind of paring knife. This kind you could just get, like, you know, at Walmart or something, I think. But this is a Cauliflower as well. And then this is a Wusthof again. So I use, these are the knives I use. That's all I have. Not gonna lie, these knives were not cheap. That ceramic knife I have was about 80 bucks or something like that, but I bought it at a store that marks up their stuff a lot, so I spent a lot of money on it. You can probably get it for cheaper now. And then those Wusthofs were probably, I don't know, $70, $80, $90 a piece. but worth it. Now I've had these knives for forever. You just sharpen them and they last forever. They're worth it. So that's the first tip I want to give you. And the tip that I actually started this video for on purpose was this tip that I learned personally, which is that when you're chopping, a lot of the times, like, pretend this is an onion. If I chop this whole thing up, if I set down the knife to pick up the onion and put it in my bowl, which I do all the time, it's an action I do all the time. I only had to do this one time to learn the lesson. When you set your knife down, do not set it down like this, because when you go to pick up that onion, slice, always set your knife down with the blade away. Just a little tip. I only made that mistake once, so of course invest in knives because it's so much easier to chop. It makes your life so much easier when you're a nutritarian and you have to cook so much. It really, really makes your life good. Keep them sharp, but then be careful with them too. Alright, my mushrooms are done, and I'm definitely going to eat this whole lot of them while I'm cooking. As I said before, I love white button mushrooms roasted because they sort of get this caramelization on them, and they're cheaper, they're amazing, they have really good health benefits. I just did these at 400 for 20 minutes. That's it. Okay, soup number 1 is a success. It's a curried cauliflower soup. I doctored it a bit by adding, I didn't do like regular salt, but I did the Vogue seasoning. This is what I usually use for soup. Low sodium vegetable base along with some broth, vegetable broth with no salt. And then I put a bunch of nutritional yeast in it as well. And I put in a can of light coconut milk. I really like this now. I also used my immersion blender to blend just a little bit and leave some chunks in there. And this one is a success. You know, when I think about it, the only thing that's sort of substantial in this soup is the coconut milk. You get some fat there. So I'm trying to imagine eating this plus a big salad like I usually do, and I don't know if I would be full enough. So maybe when I serve this, I would just add some chickpeas or something to it to add a little bit more bulk, or I'll make sure to add some a bunch of beans to my Mexican salad when I have that with it. So something to consider. Okay, on to soup number 2. Alright guys, here is my experimental soup. I think this is going to be another repeat of last time where I've made way too many things. The soup's going to be like 45,000 servings, and hopefully it's good because it will be a big waste of things. I'll make it good no matter what ends up happening. I'll find some way to season it right. And really, I mean, I like all the vegetables, I like all the legumes, I like all the grains and stuff, so there's nothing I'm putting in it that I don't like the flavor of. I think it'll be fine. Let me show you kind of like what I was thinking. Actually, I was kind of thinking like Christmas colors, green and red, so that's kind of the theme I was doing. And here was the sort of the ingredients I was thinking of using. So I wanted to do, the legume was going to be green peas, and I was going to do the typical like onions and stuff. I didn't do celery because I actually just forgot, but I have tons of onions and leeks in there. Then the red was red pepper and sun-dried tomatoes. That was the kind of idea, red pepper, sun-dried tomatoes, and green peas. And then I liked the wild rice so much the other day in that soup, I want to do it again. And then I had some question marks, kale or hemp seeds, but I'll probably leave those out. And then I was like, green cabbage, and then I saw green cabbage at Trader Joe's, so I bought it, and now I gotta put it in. So I don't know if it'll be good or not. So I've got wild rice, I've got green peas. This might be too many, but you know, that's how I roll. Then I did, so this is 1 cup of wild rice, 2 cups of green split peas. As I said, I mean, I think this is going to take a ton of water to make this soup. So I'm going to do a lot of water, and then probably at the end I'll put in some stock. I have a no sodium vegetable stock. This feels really good. Aww. I feel like a kindergartner. Then down here I some sun-dried tomatoes. Now it's important, you guys, these are the sun-dried tomatoes I get from Amazon. I'll put a link down below. It's important to get ones that are sulfite free and don't have salt. It's so hard to find those. I couldn't find them in the store, so I had to get them online, so I'll put a link for you guys down below. This is 1 cup chopped. And when I put these in the soup, these will soak up the water just like the other things. That's why I'll have to keep adding water and stuff. But then it'll retain all the flavor in there as well. Then I did, this is 3 red peppers sliced. So I got these nice, they'll be nice like stringy pepper things. I got like 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, I think. Then this was the problem. I got this green cabbage shredded from Trader Joe's, but I bought 2 bags. I don't know why I bought 2 bags, because I thought maybe it would be not a lot once it cooked down, which it usually is, but with all the other stuff I'm putting in the soup, I mean, come on, Cheri. Okay, so what have I got in here? This is the typical, like what I started with on the other soup. This is just leeks, onions, and carrots. I didn't put celery in this time, like I said, because I forgot, but I'm just going to leave it out. So I'm going to cook this stuff down. Then I'm actually going to try my technique that I did last time of just like putting everything in, putting a ton of water, cooking it. The green peas always need, they're the ones that take the longest. They need about 40 minutes, 45 minutes of cook time. And the problem with them is that they need like simmering whatever, so that means I'll have to put everything in there, get it up to a boil, put everything, you know, all the wild rice and everything in there as well. My cook time is going to be about 45 minutes. And then I'll have to see where I'm at with water, if I can put vegetable stock in at that point. Then it'll be time to season. So I'll probably end up using, I have these over here just in case to like see what I end up using. I have some of my low sodium stuff, the tomato one, and then nutritional yeast. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe some pepper. I don't know, guys. I'll see what it's like once it's done cooking. If it's like good at all, wish me luck. This is gonna be weird. I don't know, you guys. I don't have a good feeling about this soup. I mean, I did make enough for an army, but doesn't it look weird? It's like I took 45 different things, which I did, and just put them in a pot with water. I don't know. Maybe there's a way I can make it taste good once it's done. We'll see. I mean, I don't know what it tastes like now, clearly, but it's just such random things. The soup is depressing me. I have no idea if it's going to be good or not. I don't know if it's even going to work because I put so many vegetables in there with the lentils. I don't even know, or the peas. I don't even know if those are going to cook. The wild rice, I don't even know if they're actually going to cook, or if it's going to like boil over and turn into some disaster. So I started thinking, boy, wouldn't it be nice to have ice cream instead? Then I remembered I had these little chocolate brownie bites. Looks like dinner's going to be brownie bites and ice cream. Bye. Well, I had all 5 of these while I was sitting here watching this soup ruin my life. Also, I forgot what cabbage soup smells like when it cooks. So now I and my house smell like cabbage. The soup better taste good, man. On the bright side, I didn't know if it was going to actually like boil easily because there's so much soup in there that it's doing fine. It needs to have a sort of rolling boil like that to cook the peas and rice. So I actually think the rice and peas are going to get cooked enough, which is exciting. Then the only thing left would be to make sure there's good flavor. I have a theory that as long as you like all the vegetables, kind of end up all tasting the same in the end anyways, and it kind of just depends on what you season it with. So I don't know, guys. We'll see what happens. But ice cream is next. And then I found more brownie batter and a spoon. Alright, kind of the moment of truth here. This is looking way different than it was when I first showed you. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna stir it up a little bit. Interesting, the tomatoes look a little bit like bacon. Here. Ouch! Crap! A little bit splattered there. I don't know, it feels like a good texture. Let's see. Now I'm gonna try some of it. Hold on. It smells interesting. It smells like sun-dried tomatoes and cabbage. Alright guys, here's the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm nervous about eating this. I guess I'll just take a bite, right? It's not the worst thing I've ever had. The peas are totally cooked. Let me see about this rice here. The rice looks good too. Looks less cooked than the other one I made that was completely overcooked. Oh, the rice is perfect. It basically tastes like all of these things cooked in water with a little bit of flavor from the sun-dried tomatoes. So now I guess my work is just seasoning. I'm gonna go with, okay, wait, first of all, it's not a disaster. I'm so excited. I don't have to throw this whole pot out. Cool. Okay. I'm going to do the Vogue seasoning for sure so I can get some salt in here. This is an even bigger pot than the last one before, so this is probably 15 to 17 servings of soup, 2-cup servings of soup, so massive amounts of food here. I think I might also try that tomato seasoning, because I feel like this would be a good sort of tomato flavor with all these things. So, all right, wish me luck on the seasoning. Okay, you guys, my life is not over. I ended up using quite a bit of this, but it's because I made quite a bit of soup. I used about ½ a cup of this, and I did the calculations. If this is in fact about 15 servings of soup, that's about 225 milligrams of sodium per serving extra, which is within the 250 to 300 extra milligrams of sodium that you could have per day. Anyhow, that Dr. Furman says is okay. So that's the only seasoning I put in there. That's all I wanted. And it tastes good. It kind of tastes like a chicken soup type broth with a bunch of vegetables. Also, what's interesting about this experiment is that it worked to just put everything in the pot and cook it. I didn't have to make the green peas separately. I didn't have to make the rice separately or anything. Just put it all in the pot, made sure there was enough water there, and got it boiling. And pretty much kept it boiling because that's a really heavy-duty pan, and it stayed boiling the whole time. And it took about 45 minutes. So I'm going to take this off the heat and let it sit and cool off for the day. Now I have to buy more soup base. But you guys, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it worked. This isn't like as good as the other soup I had before, but I'm actually thinking if I were to make the same thing I made before, which was a lemon tahini type sauce, and use it in here, I think it would be good. Even lemon juice, I think, would be good in this soup. To add that in. So, but this by itself is still pretty good. So I'm so surprised. Can't believe it. My day is not ruined. I do not have to throw out like $30 worth of produce and stuff. It wasn't that much, I don't think, but maybe it was. I don't know. But yeah, not a disaster, and I didn't just waste like 3 hours of my life. So yay! I think the lesson here is, first of all, don't cook like me. Like, make less, you know? I always do this though. I always just put everything in and I hope for the best, and this worked out. And so this is kind of giving me this feeling that like generally this is how it happens. Like you can just throw a bunch of stuff in a pot and then figure out how to make it taste good once it's cooked, you know? And what the nice thing about soups is that they retain most of the nutrients in the broth. So you don't have to worry about like, because you're cooking it, you don't really lose too much by cooking it. And I cooked it with the cover on, so I wouldn't have lost too much by evaporation. All in all, okay, I think this calls for a drink. Just kidding. I might have some of the soup, and then I think we probably will have banana ice cream. All right, dinner is served. We made ice cream. This is Cheri's bananas, peanut butter, and carrot powder with this, what he calls candied dirt. It's the brownie stuff that I made before. I'll put a link for that down below. And peanut butter. Bon appetit. All right. I'm getting ready to go out, and this happened. Hey guys, alright, let me know what you thought about this soup debacle. Have you ever made something like this where you made way too much and then it just didn't work out? I'm so blessed that it actually worked out. I'm so excited, but has this ever happened to you? Do you have one of those? I mean, I have these in my past, don't worry. Let me know down below.